Welcome to the Unscripted Authentic Leadership Podcast, a podcast we are seeking to lead change while also seeking to understand. We are also here to provide a platform for leaders to come together, to unite, to empower, develop other leaders in the areas of business, family, faith, and community. I am your host, Lafayette Lane, joined by my co-host, John LeBrun. And today we are so excited because we are joined by two special guests, Bobby Henline, the warrior, and Jamie Burton, the mermaid. Those of you that will watch this and listen to this, put those clap emojis in the comments section, and let's clap it up for our special guest today. As they join us today to continue our Mental Health Awareness Month. Bobby has an incredible story how he has overcome being a sole survivor of an IED explosion to helping veterans battle depression and suicide. And I promise you, you do not want to miss the backstory of what he's been through and the mission that he is currently on. Before we get into the topic, we definitely want to say thank you to all of our Unscripted Authentic Leadership support family from our YouTube family, as you see there at the bottom of your screen. Those of you that have subscribed to our YouTube channel, Unscripted Authentic Leadership, you follow us on our various social media platforms there. On Facebook, Unscripted Authentic Leadership. Our Instagram handle is at Unscripted Leadership. And our LinkedIn is Unscripted Authentic Leadership. Those of you that may not watch the podcast, but you can listen to us on our various streaming platforms, from Apple to Spotify to Pandora to Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, and really wherever you can find and stream podcast platform, you can type in our Unscripted Authentic Leadership and stream our podcast from there. If you wanting to connect with us on our website, unscripted-leadership.com, interested in being a guest, you can do that there. You can also find some other cool things. We have some new merch there that you can check out, our Instagram, our Unscripted podcast, and some more information about who we are and what we do here on the Unscripted Authentic Leadership podcast. At this time, I want to turn it over to Bobby to just give us a little more about who he is, what he does, and then we'll get into his backstory from there. Bobby?
Hi. A little about me. I mean, I guess we start off I originally joined the Army when I joined in 1989 at 17 years old. I joined the Army. I went to Desert Storm. I did 3 years, got out, and then I was out for 10 years. Had a family, and 9/11 happened. After being out of the Army for 10 years, 9/11 happens. The next month, I go back into the military because I knew I couldn't let something like that happen in my country and just sit there. I knew I still had something. I'd been to war at a young age. I was still only 30. I was still young enough to still fight today, or not today. That was a little while ago. I'm getting older, but back in 2001, I was like, I could still fight. So I want to go back in and get my knowledge from Desert Storm and being a young soldier and what it was like. I knew I could help other soldiers in today's war. So I went back in and did 3 more tours.
Let's unpack your story a little bit more from the beginning. You kind of gave us a short, sweet version there. Let's unpack your story about the whole incident that you'll unpack for us. Let's go back to the beginning because you talked about joining the Army, the heart that you had for joining the Army because of 9/11. We all know about that. I believe I was in the first grade when that happened. So I don't remember much about 9/11, but I know that it changed our world forever. And I know that it changed your life and your personal world forever as well. So kind of unpack how you got into the Army a little bit more, and then the series of events that happened from there once you were in the Army.
Oh, yeah. Well, first of all, Lafayette, thanks for letting me know how old I am by telling me you were in the first grade.
I was a senior in high school. It makes you feel a little younger.
Now I'm getting there. Oh, yeah, I was 30 years old, and
Okay.
like I said, I knew I had to go back in. So I was talking to a recruiter already, kind of like couldn't decide what I wanted to do with my life at that point. 30 years old, still trying to figure out what I'm going to do when I grow up. And so I was talking to a recruiter a little bit about it. He's like, yeah, it's a lot harder for you guys that have been out for a while to get back in. And then, of course, boom, it's like a couple weeks later, 9/11 happened. And I'm like, can I get in now? And, of course, that sped up the paperwork and everything. A lot of prior service came back in from Desert Storm. It came back in after 9/11. And I was back in basic training October 31st the next month. Like, they got me in that quick. I had to go back to basics. I was out of the Army for 10 years. And I go from basic, and I go to my AIT, my advanced individual training, which was a military truck driver, which that's what I did my job before the first time I was in.
Okay.
But he's still, again, got to go back to the training. But this time I got to go airborne. I couldn't go airborne the first time because I was 17. And they would let me go, but my mom would not sign for me to go in the Army if I went airborne at 17. I had one uncle whose parachute tangled up and he drowned at Fort Bragg. So everybody else was all Navy, and that one uncle was Army paratrooper, Fort Bragg. So the coincidence were too much for her. I'd have been 18 at Fort Bragg myself. So she would not let me do that one. But this time I was 30 years old and I was going to do it, and she can't stop me.
Yeah.
But I did. Every time I jumped when I was on active duty, I would text my mom afterwards and let her know I was okay. I mean, it still was mama's boys in my 30s, and I was still texting mom, I'm okay. But I go back in the Army, and I go through all the training, the airborne school, and this all through 2001. When I get to Fort Bragg, I'm shipping a lot of guys over to Afghanistan at this point, with the transportation. I'm not going myself. I'm just on Fort Bragg, taking a lot of guys out and getting them ready, doing training with them so they can go to Afghanistan. And finally, when Iraq kicked off, I went to Iraq for 2003. I did 12-month deployment, as we went into Baghdad and everything with the 82nd Airborne. I got back from that deployment of 12 months in 2004. And during that time, I had to go to an advanced, it's my sergeant's training to become a sergeant in the Army. Then I had to move bases. I had to go from Fort Bragg to Fort Carson, Colorado. I was there only 3 months when I had to ship off again to Iraq. So I was only home a total of 10 months with my wife and kids at the time. And then I had to ship off again for another 13 months to Iraq. Did another 13-month, that deployment, came back. Again, I'm only back for a couple months, and they're closing down. They're moving my unit from Fort Carson to Fort Hood. But because they were so many people were going so many tours over and over too soon, they started rotating your deployments. If you were gone a year, then you got to stay home a year. If you're gone 6 months, then you stay home 6 months.
Yeah.
So, and then they're building more brigades so that we didn't have to go over as many times. And so this is now leading up to this one. So since I had a parachute badge, instead of going with my unit to Fort Hood, they brought me back to Fort Bragg, the 82nd Airborne. So I spent about 6 months there before I deployed again. And I knew something was different about this deployment. It just felt different. It was my fourth one overall. I'm on the road every day, and you see how in the news how everybody's getting injured and killed through these roadside bombs. So I just felt something was different about this one. It just didn't feel right. So I actually did things differently. I made sure there was a savings. I got my family a new car. I went and visited one of my kids, and I haven't seen for a while. Like, I got to go come see before I leave. It was just one of those things I just knew. And after I spent one of my sons, I spent his 13th birthday with him. It was a month later, and on April 7th, and I was blown up in Iraq. I was only in country a total of 3.5 weeks to a month when I got hit this time. And some of that was just training in Kuwait, about 2 weeks actually with my unit when my Humvee got hit.
Wow.
That was 14 years ago today. 14 years ago, April 7th this year, made 14 years. When the Humvee got hit, it was, I don't remember much of it. I pretty much don't remember any of it. That morning, all I remember is having a cup of coffee and before we rolled out the gate. And the rest of the day is blank. I do remember getting the coffee, rolling the gate, and then memories came back to me about picking up one of the passengers that was with me. And so there's 2 people that never really rode with me. And because of that, I could picture that day, and that's it. I got hit at 5 o'clock in the evening. We had left the base about 7 o'clock that morning, 7:30. And it took me 2 weeks in a coma. Luckily, I got hit right outside one of our bases. So there's guys right there to react, to get us into a medevac. I was the only guy to survive from the IED attack. Out of 5 of us, 4 of the men died that day. Didn't make it home, and here we are, Memorial Day. And it's, it's about them. Those are my angels that can taking care of me this whole time.
Yeah.
It was really hard when I found out in the hospital about them and that I was the only survivor. For about a year, I had survivor's guilt. I mean, it still hits you time to time for sure. But over the years, I've learned to kind of deal with that. We'll definitely want to touch more on that later too. But that first year, I prayed every night just for God to take me. I felt like a burden to my family. I felt like survivor's guilt. I didn't know why I was alive. I felt better for everybody else and easier for everybody. They didn't have to worry about my next surgery. I could just move on, go to heaven, be with the rest of the guys like I'm supposed to be. So I didn't understand it all. I felt useless, and I felt like I couldn't do anything here on earth anymore. And I was just a burden to my family.
Wow.
After that, it took. Sorry, did you have a question?
No.
Oh, I know me. I'll keep talking. Like, tell me, Bobby, hold on. I got a question. Go back.
No, you're good, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, it was just that first year was so hard, the hardest. But of course, there's every time was Memorial Day or my Alive Day, April 7th. When those time comes around, my body feels it. It knows it's happening. It knows what's going on. It brings back memories, and I embrace those memories. Like I share with people, you don't hide from those things. You should talk about them. Of course, we got to laugh. They're not laughing moments of we lost people, but they're laughing things we can do about it. Any trauma you've been through, when you can go back and laugh at something you've been through, you made it. It's just not to disrespect to what you've been through or anybody else that was going through it with you. It's a way of coping with it. It's another way of bringing attention to it to help others. So that always comes around, and I always share with other veterans. Sorry, I should have told you I speak with squirrels running around my head. Uh, when it comes to survivor's guilt, I think it's so important to remember. This is what I learned over the years, and it took me a while to beat myself up, and I still got to remind myself about this. I got to think about it. If I wasn't one of the guys that made it home, what would I want for the other ones? Of course, I'd want them to live their best life, live their life to its full. I want them to be rich with love and family and financial and just have a great life, whatever that is that made them feel rich. And we know money's not everything. It's having those friends, having the family, having love that really makes us rich and not the material things. So I would want that for them. And talking to their families and stuff like that, I know I've learned that families want that for me. And how disrespecting would it be if I just gave up on life? Here I was given a life, and I was like, oh, I don't want it, and I throw it away, and I just waste it. I mean, for those families that lost their loved ones, and my buddies I lost, that's so disrespectful for them. They would die in vain. I got to keep living for their sacrifice. I mean, that's so important. And so, anybody out there is dealing with survivor's guilt, whether you're military or not, there's all kinds of things we all go through in life. Remember, they want you to live your life the best life you can live.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's incredible. You did not allow all the tests that you went through to set you back and to totally give up on life. But you turned your test into a testimony and used that to propel you to triumph and to help somebody else. I love how you talked about that wouldn't be fair to all the other men that were there in the Humvee with you.
Mm-hmm.
You decided to give up on life. And what great perspective that is, because your life was altered. Can you tell us a little more about the trauma of your injuries? Because many people that are going through life, they're quick to give up on life because they're not making as much money as they want to, or they don't have the material things. You lost physical things, physical ailments of your body, but you still use that to go forward. What was that in you that drove you to have that inner determination? And just give us some more about, again, your extremities and the things that you went through, so our audience can get a deeper understanding of the extremity of the accident that happened over there in Iraq.
Right. Yeah. When the bomb went off, I saw the report from it. It was 3 to 4 artillery shells that were buried underneath the center of the road.
Mm.
It left me burnt over 38% of my body. My head was burnt to the skull. As you can see, there's a lot of lumps in my head because they actually had shaved parts of the skull off so they can get good tissue to grow back up there. It took 18 months just to get skin finally to grow back on my head. And I was out of the hospital in 6 months. So I was walking around with no skin on my head. I had bandages on it 24/7. I'm constantly trying new skin grafts. I think it was about the 6th skin graft surgery we tried on my head that got it to work. They eventually took a tummy tuck. So luckily I couldn't do much, so I was sitting around just eating. And so I grew extra skin on my belly. And so they ended up giving me a tummy tuck and they put that on my head. And that's how they actually saved my head, my skull.
Wow.
My left arm was burnt real bad. Yeah, I had my hand for 2 years. We tried to repair it, and no luck. I just told them to take it off. They said, give us 18 months. I gave them 2 years. And 2 years was up. I said, all right, it's got to go. And that was the best thing I was able to do with this arm. And having the hand out there, the hand was getting in the way. I get just kind of hung here like this. I couldn't straighten the wrist. I could barely wiggle the fingers. And it just caused a lot of pain. I always had to have it elevated. When I was sitting in the chair, I had pillows stacked up. They're always swollen, just a lot of pain, bumping and things. So having it amputated was one of the best things. I was very happy about doing it. I know a lot of people couldn't fathom at the time, and I was like, just chop it off. Just get rid of it. It's in the way. A lot of people were like, how do you just do that like that? When you're going through all that, it's in your way. It's a lot easier to make a decision once you're going through that situation for sure. Mm. But my arms, that arm, my legs were burnt really bad, front, back, feet. But other than that, my torso wasn't burnt. I don't know, the way I was sitting in the vehicle, it was flipped upside down. The fire just kind of burned. If you ever watch a piece of wood, I mean, you'll see they all burn differently each time. It just doesn't make, I guess, really sense. But I noticed all the burn survivors would look at each other. Okay, how are you in the vehicle? We always question that. How are you positioned? But it's just, I had all my gear on, but the vehicle got thrown upside down 20 meters and slid upside down. So it kind of turned it into a convertible. And I'm sure that my head just probably ripped everything off as it slid. Mm-hmm. Looking at the photos. But it was total 6 months in the hospital, 3 years actual recovery, 3 years till I got used to the way my face looked, to the way the new me looked. That I honestly got used to. I started joking around about it 2 years after. I started doing a little stand-up comedy and stuff and motivational speaking 2 years after the accident. But I didn't really believe it at first. There's still me that had my own hard time. I always had my pity pots where I would go into a closet and just punch the clothes if I was angry, or I'd look in the mirror and just cry. But I would let it out in a controlled environment. That's another thing I like to share with people is let yourself have those pity pot timeouts. You got to. Mm-hmm. You got to express those feelings you're having because they're real feelings. And if you hide them and suppress them, they're going to come out at the wrong time. They're going to come out in road rage. They're going to come out when you're out having a drink at the wrong situation sometime, and you're still going to get yourself in trouble. Mm-hmm. So always, no matter what you've been through in life, you got to let something out. It's okay to be depressed. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be angry. These are real feelings, but you got to let them out in a controlled environment. And, through whether it's physically beating something up, whether it's yelling, just let it out, physically beat up on those punching dummies, punch some water, or go for a run, or just scream into a bottle. I've done that before where I've screamed things that were bugging me so bad, and I put in a bottle, put a lid on it so it goes away. You got to be able to see that physically, and I think that helps you mentally, or at least it does me, but I ain't normal. Whatever normal is.
I think it's great.
But it's just tools that I've learned along the way. But it took a long time. I've had 48 skin graft surgeries to date. I'm at 48, and I know there's other guys, and I'll be like, wow. I know those guys. I know guys that got them in the 80s, even 100 skin grafts, 100 surgeries. That and we all look at each other in different. Okay, I've had that many surgeries. And of course we give each other a hard time about it too. We got to joke around.
Sure.
About everything.
Wow.
But that's
such a good attitude.
I'm trying to go through. I can't. Thank you. Yeah, my left eye, they're actually going to throw away at one point. They were going to throw it away. They didn't think they could save it because the eyelid was totally gone. But they found 3 milliliters of an eyelid, and I guess there's supposed to be 8 or 11 to really rebuild on. But they said, well, let's try. So I've had probably 16 skin grafts just on my eyelids, and they saved that left eye. It's got 20/25. Just got 20/20 last time I got them checked. The mermaid keeps telling me I need to get them checked again. Getting older.
Better than my vision, my friend. Better than my vision.
Oh, it makes my kids so mad. My kids are blind without their glasses and contacts, and here my eyelids were burnt off. I'm like, I see fine.
I mean, Lafayette and I both have glasses, so you probably beat both of us.
And the
Wow.
amazing part too is hearing. That's another question I get asked all the time about my hearing because of the earlobes being gone. But I hear better. I couldn't see in the hospital for about 14, 16 months because I had to wear like motorcycle goggles with medicine in my eyes the whole time. So I got used to hearing people's voices. I could tell you which doctor or nurse was coming down the hallway by their voice. And then once I could see again and I go visit the hospital, I see someone waving at me. I couldn't tell you who they were until they talked. I had to finally put their face to their voice.
Wow.
That's incredible.
It's cool how the brain does that, though.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, and I don't really remember anything until I woke up in the hospital. Like I said, I just remember a couple things when it happened. And I've tried to remember. And that was one of the hardest things, too, with the survivor's guilt is I didn't know those guys that well. They were already out there during deployment. I joined them in the middle of their deployment. So I knew them for a couple weeks. The one I knew the most was Rodney McCandless, my driver. He was coming back from leave the same time that I was going out there. So we got to travel together out to Iraq. And so that's how I got to know him the best. The other guys I barely knew. I talked to them a couple times within that 2-week period. So to me, I want to know who they were more. So I went and met all their families, got to learn more about each of them, and still keep in contact with them today.
So you had mentioned, I know you said you with survivor's guilt, you had felt like a burden. Now I understand that there will be other people who veterans, and also with you had mentioned first responders as far as your mission, but they have some similar issues. They may have similar issues with or things to overcome with depression and stuff like that. But maybe not survivor's guilt, right? But with that, you meant that was part of your something for you to overcome, but you felt like a burden on family, on friends. Like, how that has to be something that I would think most people would feel, regardless of even if they had survivor's guilt or didn't. So what are some things that, like, with that you can talk to, as far as like, how do you like talk to that? How do you fix this feeling of a burden on everybody, or feeling like maybe you can't add something to them, so you feel like you have no value, or something like that?
Yeah, that was the hard part with me because I'm used to being the guy that takes care of everybody. I'm here serving in the Army, and then I'm the father that takes care of the kids. I'm the breadwinner, bringing in all the money. Not all the money. I was in the military; we didn't get a lot of money, but bringing in what I could. But you provide it for your family, and now your family's being provided for, of course, financially. There's still your paycheck and all that stuff, but it was just having your kids take care of you. My kids helped me tie my shoe. Dad, don't trip on that. I couldn't play catch, with my son. I couldn't see my daughters go to a dance recital or cheerleading, because it was because of the vision at first. Then it was because of PTSD, my anxiety. I can't go into this cheerleading room where it's really loud, lots of people yelling and screaming. So now I feel bad because I got to walk out of my daughter's cheerleading a bit. So I just cry like I'm a bad father. I can't do this. It'd be easier for them. I'm crazy now. They don't need this crazy old dad. They'd be better off going away without me. But it's just so hard during that time to see past that, to see that no, they know that you're their father. They love you. That's your spouse, your family. It's okay. Think about it. Again, you got to put that same perspective. If it happened to somebody else in your family, hey, you know what? I'm gonna take care of you. I don't care if you got to go to the bathroom. I'm gonna help clean you up. You're going through a hard time right now. I'm gonna help you get through this. You do that to your family. They want to help you through it too. But it is really hard to see it during that time. You just got to remind yourself about these things. So if you are going through something like that, know that your family wants to take care of you. They want to see you get better. You will get your independence back. That's what really made me turn the corner, is when I was able to drive again by myself. When I didn't have to count on my kids, I just, tie my shoes once, I could slip them on and off. So as I got to be able to do things, or I figured out, I saw there's that baseball player, the pitcher, it was Abbott. He pitched with one arm. He's a pitcher in the pros.
Jim
and
Abbott,
so I saw how he did his mitt. Yeah. So I learned that. So I got to play catch with my son. I try to figure it out. So there's ways to do it. You just got to be more patient, and you'll figure these things out. They'll come to you, and you got to do it your way. And that's all it is. And again, it's reminding yourself it's up here. The physical part is the easy part to get used to. You just do it. You have no other choice. It's your brain, the mental part of it that is the biggest battle that will always be there. It's not going to be, and that's in anybody's life. You don't have to go through something like this to battle. We all do it, whatever we're going through in life, wherever we feel like we're slipping, whether it's at work, education, financially, a friend. We all have that mental battle. We put our stuff in our heads that shouldn't be there, and we end up battling ourselves. Right, we're our worst enemy when it comes to that, critiquing ourselves. So, I mean, the mental aspect of it is always going to be the hardest side. It's always going to be something you need to improve. So don't think, oh, I go fix once. I go talk to a psychiatrist for 6 months, 2 years. I'm fixed forever. I'll never need to do it again. I try to tell people it's like the analogy of your house. You know, to build that house, it takes a carpenter, a plumber, an electrician, a contractor. You need a roofer, and then all the different laborers. The house isn't built and just done, is it? You got to continue to do repairs on it. Things are going to go out over so many years. The roof's going to get damaged. So you need those specialties. And that's the same thing with our bodies and our minds. We're always going to need those specialties to help us. We're always going to need to keep improving. We're going to get older. Just by age alone, we're going to have issues, as we all know. So the same thing with injuries, mental illnesses, dealing with depression, anxiety, and everything. You're constantly going to need to have that worked on. Now, when I say that too, I mean professionally, but also someone else has been through it. Do groups. Talk to others that are going through the same thing. One of the best things about social media, I know social media has the bad things and good things, but it's a lot more people are opening up. You're finding out you're not alone. People are able to connect that way. I mean, social media saved us during this pandemic, I think, because we were still able to connect through that. You know, we make fun of these TikToks and the Instagrams, and we make fun of those things, but they really did help people. They helped me a lot when I couldn't do anything, and I'm used to serving. You know, I served in the military, then I served afterwards speaking and doing comedy, and I found out I could help other people just by sharing my story and continue to be me and chase my dreams. Maybe I could set the example and share that with somebody else and help them do it too. And it's not about, oh, look at me, I did this. No, if I can do it, you can do it. And that's the story. If I can do this, then you can do it. I'm human just like everybody else. We're all the same. So I think that, you know, that helped me through social media, where I could still reach out to people and make them laugh or share a bad day that I was having. One of my poems, after having a bad day, a lot of times I write stuff down and I'll write it into a poem and I share that on there. And that's what it's about. It's just sharing and letting people know they're not alone. They're loved, you know, strangers and all. I don't have to know you personally. And that's the gift we get to do. And right, the podcast like we're doing today, sharing everything.
Yeah, absolutely. Everything that you were talking about that motivated you, dealing with your family, and you realized that life had to go on. It all stemmed from a direction of moving forward. And from that,
Right.
I believe you formed this mission called Forging Forward. You'll see that even on the side of our shirts that we have here. John and I have on the Forging Forward mission. Talk to our audience about what does that mission mean, this whole forging forward. What is that? Why did you feel that was important for that to be your mission? And how can people jump in on this mission of forging forward in their lives?
Yeah, forging forward is basically my story. What comes through stronger after being forged in fire? Steel. Also, I've learned a spirit. A tempered spirit is stronger. My body is obviously weaker, but my spirit became stronger. I
Good.
forged through it. I forged through it
So good.
by writing poetry, by writing songs, by writing comedy. I forged through everything with these outlets. And so I want to teach what I've learned to other veterans, first responders, and Gold Star families that are having some similar issues that I'm having, how to forge forward. And that's why I started the nonprofit Forging Forward. We're going to take Gold Star families, first responders, veterans to a weekend. You know, I've been to a lot of these different things over the time, and you have good camaraderie. The camaraderie is awesome. You get together, you talk, you have fun, but there's always something missing. They're too big. Some of these are too big. You got 30, 40, 60 people at one of these things, and it's not small enough. It needs to be smaller so that people can communicate better and no one gets left out. So I want to do these in groups. of anywhere from 6 to 10 at the most. We can even do 4. If I got to do 2 people at a time, I'll do 2 people, but I don't want to do over 10. I want to be a close niche group, have stuff in common, and I want to teach them an outlet. They're going to come together that weekend, and we're going to learn either actually how to forge a knife out of a railroad spike, or the weekend could be an introduction to welding. It could be an introduction to painting, songwriting, all the stuff that I've done. I want to share that. I'm no expert in all of them, but I'll bring in experts to help that. So when they leave after that weekend, not only do they have that camaraderie, we're going to sit around the fire, no pun intended, but we'll sit around the fire and we'll talk, because that gets people to open up. They're going to talk about their project and what got them to make the project that they did. You know, when they were banging out that knife and hammering and forging that knife, what was going through their mind? And that helps people talk. They're distracted by the object and what they did, and they don't realize what they're telling you. They're telling you something beautiful. They're opening up. They feel comfortable around those people. They just got it out of their system. And so now they leave and they have some kind of skill. They know if they like something. Like, we can only do an introduction to it. But now if you like it, now you know how to look into it more. And if you want to progress with it more, come back to us and we'll see if we can get you the stuff you need to do it. Because I want them, when they're having a bad day and they can't get somebody on the phone, I want them to be able to go in the garage, paint, just do like a masterpiece and throw paint against the wall, whatever it is, bang out that thing, weld something together, just write it all down like I do, you know, whatever fits them. But I want them to try these different things so they can find out where those outlets are that help them. And that's what takes us back to what I was talking about with the house. Those outlets are the little things that are going to help you. So sometimes I need to go to the gym and just work out.
Yeah.
Sometimes I need to go for a run. Sometimes, and when I'm running or I'm at the gym, my mind opens up and I got to go home and then I got to write stuff. So it's a whole process of all these different outlets, all these different specialties that help me get through stuff. And all that encompass brings why we started Forging Forward. Because all that do? That helps veteran suicide and suicide prevention. You know, without going, come here, I want to help you not kill yourself. Let's talk about other things that makes that happen without just going, come on, don't kill yourself. Come with me. This is all about suicide prevention. That scares people away.
Sure.
Let me teach you some stuff to do, how to battle your demon. Let's talk about battling your demons, how you do it when you're by yourself. Let's
Also
open up
the
that can.
association.
That's the way I want to approach it.
Yeah.
What's that?
Then the association I would think they would get from those experiences has to be powerful and allow you to move forward with sort of a new small family.
Yep, exactly. We all keep in touch, and you know, you got someone you learned with, somebody else has been through it. So if you didn't think you had someone to talk about it before, you can have someone now. You know for sure. You met
It's
them
like
all
another
face to
brotherhood.
face. Yep, exactly.
Mm.
And
Very cool.
another thing we have a problem with the Gold Star families, they really want to talk to the wounded veterans, you know, whether it's, you know, internally or physically out, you know, on the outside. They want to talk to us. We're the last ones that were around their families, but then a lot of us are scared to talk to them. Well, we got to break that. We got to bring them together because it's needed. It helped me so much to talk to the families. It helps the families because they want to hear the stories. They want to know what it was like out there. What, you know, maybe what was the last thing to go through their son or their daughter's minds, and how were their days? How were they actually living out there? That helps them. And the best one Gold Star dad told me one time, all you got to do is ask us, tell me about your son. What was his name? What did he like? And they'll take it from there. We all love talking about our children, and they want to talk about their children.
Right.
They want to keep that memory alive.
That is amazing, and I'm sure many people's lives have been saved literally because of the Forging Forward. But not only did you found Forging Forward the mission, you were able to connect with another amazing individual by the name of Jamie Burton. Now we know that you are the warrior, Bobby, and you were able to make a connection with the mermaid, Jamie Burton. You all established a company called Bravo 748. 748. Talk to us about how you made that connection with Jamie. What is the whole backstory on the warrior, the mermaid, and Bravo 748?
Yeah, it's been a wonderful journey. Jamie, I couldn't do Forging Forward. I couldn't do the Well Done Comedian. I couldn't do Bravo 748 without the mermaid. She's the wizard behind it all, the IT, the business mind. She's the one that does it all. I'm the pretty face. Her face is prettier. I just try to hide it in the background. No, she's amazing. I met her originally. She hired me to speak for her company before she retired.
Okay.
So I came to speak at her company, and she originally asked me, well, what's it take to get you here to come speak? And I said, airfare, hotel, and whatever your budget allows. She said, no, that's not how you do business. You got to tell your worth. This is how you do business. This is how you do this, and then you do this for nonprofits and this. I'm like, okay. And she said, I'm going to help you. If you wanted me to help you, I can help you. And I said, I don't know. She said, all right, just come meet me, and you still want me to help you? Well, we'll talk about it then. Well, it turned out Jamie's birthday is the same as my live day, April 7th.
Oh, very cool.
So I said, we're supposed to work together.
Yeah.
So she started helping me with that, with mine. So she would come out, because I would go to these things helping other nonprofits like the Lone Survivor Foundation, Boot Campaign, these big organizations that do wonderful things. And I go there and I meet people, but I get cards and I never remember why I had them. I have a stack of cards at the end of the month. I'm like, I don't know who they are, why they gave them to me. So she would go with me, collect the cards, and help me keep that connectivity. And while doing that, we found out other veterans were doing the same thing. They were writing songs and singing these events and helping raise lots of money and donating their time, which is good. And we want to do that, but they need to make some money. There's a business side of that. We all hate to do it. We don't want to ask for money, but yeah, we still got family support. We still got needs and stuff too. So that's where Bravo 748 came from. Jamie said, let's help the other veterans too. So when we made Bravo 748. Now, Bravo 748, a lot of you want to know why Bravo 748. It's a different name. It's a military and law enforcement speakers bureau. Jamie had a son who joined the Kentucky National Guard. He deployed to Germany when everything kicked off. That was the National Guard took over the bases in Germany when the bases in Germany went to Afghanistan. So he did a year over there. He came home back to Kentucky and he wanted to be a pilot. So he's going to school to be a pilot. And on the last flight during his training to get his final part of his license, unfortunately the plane, something was wrong with the fuel. The instructor tried to land the plane, but they clipped some trees. And so he died at 24 years old. His name was Brian. 748 was on the tail of the plane. So you got Bravo 748 for Brian. Jamie wants to continue to serve for her son, to help other veterans. Her son was a server. Brian served and wanted to continue to serve and always helped others. Jamie's worked in the mental health business for over 30 years. So she knows that side of it. And she wants to continue to serve for her son. And then if you also look at Bravo 748 teaming up with me, of course, Bobby starts with the B, Bravo. If you flip the 4 and the 7, you got April 7th, 7-4, and you got 4-7, you got April 7th, my live day, her birthday.
Okay.
So yeah. Not only also Tail of a Gun, also because he was 24 years old for the 4, 8's infinity, and 7 was their favorite and lucky number. So there's a lot of meaning in that name from that for sure. And so with that, we were able to help other veterans and law enforcement that want to do speaking, comedians. We got songwriter singers. We even have great photographers. Stacy Pearsall, who does the Veteran Portrait Project. She's so busy, does amazing photos. She's actually a combat vet that actually got blown up a week after I did, the town next to me. And we had no idea about that before. We met doing a documentary back in the day, and we started talking and figured that out. And then Stacy became one of Bravo 748 speakers later on when we developed that. And then started helping with that. So we got the Well Done Comedian, we got the Forging Forward, we got the Bravo 748. So Jamie and I started dating her so that I can get my 20% back.
There you go.
We are engaged now. I don't like to use the words engaged. It's a military. I call her girlfriend promotable.
Okay.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah,
thank you.
Oh,
But we decided to test our relationship even more and get an RV and travel around and visit our grandchildren and also take it along the road to meet all kinds of people that are beautiful, because everybody's beautiful.
Yes. On that same note, if everybody doesn't know, we have these t-shirts that are hard to see. If you're listening to this, you can't see it, but it's a t-shirt that says "You are beautiful," and there's a story on your website behind that t-shirt as well, which is very cool. I saw that about the dad explaining about his son with his face was attacked, right?
Yeah, the 8-year-old was bit by a dog in the mouth.
Yeah.
He didn't want to take his mask off in the restaurant because he's worried about the stitches and the scar. Well, Dad said, "Oh, well, check out Bobby. He's been through this and that." Well, the 6-year-old was listening. The next morning, 6-year-old, "Look, Dad, I drew a picture of your friend Bobby," and that's the picture you see on the shirt. And so I was like, "Oh, we got to do something with this." Yeah,
but it helped him overcome that fear, didn't it? You know what I heard?
right.
Yeah.
Yes. So my story and seeing my face and what I look like helped this little boy be more comfortable going out in public with his scar. So I get that a lot through other burn survivors, and that just touches my heart when people share. I love when people share those stories with me because I have no idea what's happening, but I've learned over the years that I can help people, but I don't always see it. And so it's a good reminder for me to keep going. I need those reminders too. Sometimes I'm there to remind people, hey, life ain't that bad. And then I need people to remind me, Bobby, you're doing good things. Keep going. It's not that bad. Keep going. You're doing the right thing. So I need that too.
Yes. So everybody should go pick up their "You Are Beautiful" t-shirt so Jamie can be shipping those out for months on end and completely have to renew all the inventory. And Lafayette and I each picked up one. Love it. I went to the store. It took me an extra 30 minutes to get out of the store because I had so many people asking me about my shirt in one trip. People that worked there, people that I didn't know any of them. And so it's definitely a conversational piece. It's a great shirt, and it has a great mission behind it. So
yeah.
The mission too, I just want to share this, is connectivity and socialization, right? So we've been isolated as America. Yeah, I said the mission of it is connectivity and socialization. So we've been disconnected as America and as a world since February of 2020. So our thing is we've got to get back in line. We've got to get back to being people. We've got to get back to being America. So for us, it's people are beautiful everywhere. And we need to remember that because social media, like Bobby said, is helpful, but there's so much of it that's negative. And we want to promote the positivity. So it's wherever we go, we meet beautiful people everywhere. We eat beautiful food. We see beautiful scenery across America. And I can tell you, we've been in this van almost a month now. And Bobby's done a couple of engagements, and it's been a very eye-opening. People want to be positive. They want to be socially connected. And people want America to be America again. And so we've got to start a grassroots movement to move it to be in America again.
And this thing is bigger than just America too.
Yes.
We got shirts in Germany now, and they pay extra money to have their shirts in Germany because of the shipping.
Yes.
Like, it's insane, but it's reached everywhere. I mean, South Africa, Germany,
England, Scotland,
Australia.
It's everywhere.
So it's amazing how this story has grown into this
so organically, and I think we're still just in awe. Like, wow, it's just unbelievable. We sold out of shirts the first day because we thought, oh, this is a neat idea. We will help raise money for the foundation. Great story. Everybody needs to hear it. As soon as we get back, we got boxes coming in for more orders that are back order already. But everything's coming in this week, so we're gonna get them out. We're excited.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, hopefully we can help back order it some more.
Thank you. She does this on the computer. I'm the one trying to stuff the bags, and she's videotaped me because it looks funny.
Oh, I've seen your videos sending them out, jumping on the bed with all the packages, on social media. I've seen them. Yep. Very cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Jamie,
I don't think y'all mentioned it, but Bobby created a Some Gave All flag. So I want him to explain how he created that flag and what that flag means, because our orders on that, we put it up the first day we sold out. We're having museums ask us to sell the flag. We're having private businesses ask us to sell the flag. We've got probably 90 orders of the flag going out as soon as we hit the door next week, and it's beautiful. It's so I would like for him to just describe that flag to you.
We have time.
If we have time.
You're fine.
Oh.
We have time. Okay.
Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah, 2 years, I mean, especially Memorial Day. It's 2 years after I was injured. I really wanted a flag that we could fly all the time. We got the KIA, the POW flag, which is amazing. We need that, but we don't have a flag for the ones we lost. You know, we have Memorial Day, and that's it pretty much, you know. So I want a flag we can fly all the time, but not just for, again, the veterans. I'm talking about first responders. I'm talking about every country in this world that has lost somebody in the line of duty, to be able to fly this flag and remember them every day. So I did some sketches on the flag, and I sent them to a friend of mine who's a really good artist, and we got it all done. And it's the Some Gave All flag. So you can fly every day. It's 2 angels bringing a silhouette up to heaven, to whatever your heaven is. I know everybody has heaven is the same, but I believe in my heart that there's one God, and we all realize that we can stop fighting each other. But it's just taking that soldier, that EMT, that the police officer, that firefighter, taking them to where their resting place is, and that's what that symbolism is of those angels. It's purple, and then it has the white angels covering the shadow of the person up, their soul, and it's lined in gold with stars in it. You can see that on forgingforward.org. Again, the shirts, the flags, all this stuff. Proceeds go straight to the nonprofit. We don't take a dime. It all goes to help military veterans, first responders, and Gold Star families.
Incredible. And we want our unscripted, authentic leadership family to connect with you all on all your various social media platforms. You all can follow Bobby on Instagram. His Instagram handle is @Bobby_Henline. That's @Bobby_Henline. On TikTok, he's Bobby Henline. On Facebook, he is @Bobby Henline. You can also follow Jamie Burton on social media. Her Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook handles is @YouAreBeautifulUSA. That is @YouAreBeautifulUSA. We talked about that incredible mission of following Forging Forward. You can follow that mission on Facebook and Instagram @Forging Forward Foundation. You also can follow Bravo 748 and Law Enforcement Speakers Bureau at www.bravo748.com. Their Facebook page is Bravo 78 Military Law Enforcement Speakers, and their Instagram handle is @Bravo 748. And as we've discussed, those shirts that you see me and John wearing, the You Are Beautiful shirts, they are sold there on Forging Forward. You also can pick up the Some Gave All flags as well, that has been designed by Bobby Henline. You can also call Bravo 748 to hire an excellent speaker for your military inspired or law enforcement events. And as always, continue to follow us here on our podcast platform, on our Facebook page, our Instagram page, our LinkedIn page, our various streaming platforms there on Apple, Spotify, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, and so forth. You can connect with us on our website, unscripted-leadership.com. And I mentioned that we do have merch available on our website now. Those of you that are interested, you can sign up for our Unscripted Club email group. You can receive a 10% off merch promo code. And the merch promo code is all caps LEAD10. Merch is available on unscripted-leadership.com. Again, we say thank you to our special guest today, Bobby Henline, the warrior, and Jamie Burton, the mermaid, for coming on and sharing their incredible story. And I'm sure someone will be blessed by this, those that will watch and listen to this. As always, we pray that you be the leader that God has called you to be. We are here to build bridges and not walls. Bridges connect and walls divide. Until next time, God bless you.